Hi guys, it's time for my take on the September prompt for one little word, and as you can see I have already filled out my monthly intention page for August, so I really just need to get started on September. I am struggling a little bit with how I want this month to look because I've got, well, not a problem, but there's obviously 4 months left to go, and I've only got a few pages left in my pocket page notebook. And because I've got a few left, I don't necessarily want to get through the next 2 months and then start another notebook for 2 months worth. So I'm going to try and squeeze it all into the pages that are left in here. So because of that, I don't want to take up a whole lot of room this month. During the month, well, I'm only like the 15th today, so during the first 2 weeks of this month, and this is definitely looking a bit ratty now, but I did print out the printable for the month and was just taking notes of some of the stories that I have been telling myself this month so that I can do my journaling later on. But I don't think I want to use the cards as they are. I'm not quite sure. I've got a vague plan, so I'm going to do some fiddling with the printables in Photoshop, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So this is the PDF that comes with the downloads for September, and I just want to alter the way that these look. I want to move this logo part here down to the bottom and remove these lines, and I also want to make mine rainbow coloured, of course. So I have opened the PNG file and I'm going to do a little bit of alteration here. So the first thing I want to do is just use my marquee tool and delete the date part because I don't need that at all. And then I'm going to grab this logo title part at the top just with the marquee tool again, and then grab my arrow tool and I'm going to move it down to the bottom of the card and then deselect that. So that's the basics of how my cards are going to look. I want to put my journaling up the top here, and then I'm going to stack them up my page. So I want to move this card back onto the main PDF just so I can align everything to the way it was, because obviously this is set up to print really nicely and I might as well use that work. So the first thing I need to do is just give myself a tiny little outline. So I'm going to Command A, select all, and go Edit, Stroke, and I just want a tiny little 1 point line, and I've just chosen a light grey. I don't want black because if I mistrim it I don't really want to be able to see it, so I'm going to go OK to that, and I want the stroke to be inside because otherwise it's going to be outside of my card, and go OK and deselect that. Now you can't really see anything at this point, so I'm going to go select all again and edit, copy, and then go over to the main PDF page and edit, paste. So it's hard to see, but here's my little card here. So I'm going to hit Command T and transform this, so I need to rotate it round, and then I'm just going to move it so it is up here at the top. And then I'm going to do that 5 more times. So paste, transform, and move it into place. So this all looks reasonably confusing at the moment. If I turn off the original PDF layer, it's still kind of hard to see. So I'm just going to create a new layer and fill that with white purely so that you can see what the page looks like. So here are my 6 cards, that I am going to use, but like I said, I want to make them rainbow colored, so the easiest way to do that is to double click on the layer, choose color overlay, and then just pick whatever color you want. So I'm going to go ahead and make these cards a rainbow. And the beauty of doing this is you haven't changed anything, so if you're ever unhappy with the color, you want to change it, you can go ahead and just double click it and then go back and change it to whatever you'd like. And now I'm ready to go ahead and print this. I might actually do my journaling on here digitally first, just because I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible today. But otherwise I would print this out and just run it straight through my typewriter, probably on one sheet before I even cut it apart. So I finished doing all of my journaling on my coloured cards here, and printed them out just as it is. I scaled it down to fit on this A4 piece of paper, which obviously means it's a little bit smaller than the originals, but I think that's fine. And so now I'm just going to cut them out and then work out how I am going to stick these into my notebook. Just going to go ahead and trim out these 6 cards, and as I'm trimming them, I'm just trimming them slightly within those little border lines that I had created. It just means that I'm not going to see any of those marks, which was what I wanted. And I must admit, trying to trim all 6 of them with my paper trimmer in one go was a little bit more than it could handle, but I still managed to get them trimmed out. Now my initial idea was to stack them up in rainbow order here, and I think it's going to work. Like I said, I didn't actually measure them, I just sort of scaled the PDF as I printed it and crossed my fingers and hoped that it worked, and it did. So I'm going to layer all 6 of them up here. The first one I stuck down with a little bit of tape runner, and then I'm going to add the rest of them with this glittery washi tape. So I'm just lining them up one above each other so they're not covering up that logo piece, and then just sticking down the top with a little bit of the glittery washi tape. So they're not super securely in there, but I don't think they're going to go anywhere. The top one ends up being just a little bit shy of the top, which is good because it gives me somewhere for the washi tape to stick, and that means I can stick all 6 of them on one page. Now I've got this little space down the left hand side, and I thought I would add some of these alpha stickers and maybe spell out my story. Now I'm not sure what's happened to these alpha stickers because they're not that old, and they're not stored anywhere particularly hot or sunny, but they have lost pretty much all of their stick. I go through this whole exercise of lining them all up to make sure the whole thing is actually going to fit, and then when I go to stick the stickers down, they don't stick at all. Not just to the plastic page protector here I'm using to line them up, but even to the paper. You can see even when I press them down, they don't stick. Now I probably could have stuck them down with glue or something like that, but I don't love these alphas enough to go through the hassle of that. I was only using them because I wanted to use them up. So plan B, I'm going to do some stamping instead. I picked out a few different alphas. My first choice was these ones. I think there's some older stamps from Studio Calico, and I just wanted to check that they would fit because they are quite large stamps. So I had a couple of backups just in case, but they do actually fit. This one here, the Y, I'm just going to have to stamp underneath the cards, but that's fine, it still reads okay. This is this silly, awkward place to try and stamp, so the stamping isn't great because my book is so fat. I'm lining the stamps up as carefully as I can to the top of my block so that it doesn't go above the crease, but even then it's a little bit difficult. I sort of get the hang of things towards the end here, but I'm not worried that it's not perfect. So that's my page done for September. I'm basically going to leave it at that. It's super simple, but this is a really easy way of adding You could do the same thing with photos, so adding extra photos or extra journaling or anything like that into your traveler's notebooks by stacking these little cards like this. It's a really easy way of fitting a whole lot into a little bit of space. So all I've got to do is add my intention page for this month, which is handy because it's going to cover up this ghost stamping that's come through here. Normally I add these, these sheets are in the pocket, but occasionally there's one where it's been stuck onto the page and I've added an extra piece of paper behind there, but I don't want to add all that bulk this month, so I'm going to do the same technique. I want to add my sheet with a little bit of something behind it, but instead of sticking some paper on there, I am just going to use a little bit of washi tape. I'm pleased that it occurred to me to use washi tape to do this because it's a really easy way to add that look of pattern paper without adding the bulk. I've never done it before, but I definitely will be using this again. Obviously it's not as perfect as putting in a sheet of pattern paper behind your card or whatever, because you can see the joins in the washi tape, but as far as keeping bulk down in a notebook, this is a really great technique, so I will definitely be using it again. Now technically my intention is going to start from now, so it's not going to be the month of September, it's going to be 4 weeks from now, so we'll see how we go with that. But apart from that, that is this month's prompts all done, and I figure I've got enough pages. I've got enough pages to fit in 3 more months, I think, so we'll see how we go. As long as there's not any big prompts this next few months, I think we should be good. When I actually sat down to fill in the journaling for this month, I found the prompt quite challenging for me. I had thought at the start that this didn't really apply to me, that I didn't tell myself stories like this, but when I actually sat down and thought about it, I definitely do. So I encourage you to give it a go, write these stories down and actually challenge some of those beliefs that you have about yourself. Even if it's hard, and it probably will be hard, do give it a go. One of the stories in here that I've been telling myself a lot for a long time is that I don't have time, that I'm so busy and that I'm allowed to skip the things that I know I should be doing for myself because I am so busy. But the truth is that I do waste a lot of time on unimportant things as well, and that I'm actually choosing to prioritize my time on those mindless activities rather than doing the things that I know because they're tough and they will make me feel better at the end of the day, but they're hard, so I put them off. So that is one of those stories that I am going to start trying to challenge myself a little bit more, whether I'm actually busy or whether I am pretending to be busy because I don't want to do hard things. So there you go. I've shared one of my stories with you. Do share a story that you tell yourself with me if you feel so inclined. If not, that's not a problem either. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.